Hey guys, T2 out here. Welcome back to the Top Preparedness channel. For today's video, I want to review the $1,000 survival tool that I think every single person should have. Now this $1,000 prepping tool is often one of the first items that is overlooked when it comes to disaster and prepping scenarios. There's a lot of people out here that will discount this tool because, well, in a disaster scenario, it's not going to be usable. It's not going to be feasible. It's not going to work the way that I want it to. So why even have it? However, this tool has so many uses that you're going to be able to find something to do with it. Now, before you hop onto Amazon, before you hop onto Google and start typing away, let me explain. The $1,000 prepping and survival tool that I believe every single person should own is a cell phone. So let's get into some of the reasons why this is one of the top prepping tools in the world. The number one reason is it has a flashlight. And I know there's a lot of preppers out here that are going to say, yeah, but I carry an EDC flashlight every single place I go. I've got one in my bag and one in my pocket, 5 in my car. Why do I need something else that has another flashlight on it? Not everybody is a prepper. I know. It amazes me too. I can almost guarantee you that 90% of Americans do not have a flashlight in their pocket. But they have this. If you lose power, or you just got hit with a tornado, or X, Y, and Z just happened, you need to find your way out of that situation. You need to see the dangers before you step on a live wire, or before you fall in a hole. Having a cell phone gives you the flashlight. It gives you that option. The number two reason a cell phone is one of the greatest survival tools we've ever made is because it's able to call 911. You're able to get search and rescue. You're able to get police dispatch. This right here is one of my only lines of communication between me and someone coming to rescue me. And I get the prepper mindset, I'm my own rescue. Yeah, that's cool and all. But if it's flooding and you don't have a boat, someone else has to come get you. Search and rescue people also use Voxer and other specialty apps so they can direct connect to one another without having to go through ham radio licensing or CB radio licenses. 911 and search and rescue will try to use their phones as much as they can to free up the dispatch, to free up the radio. A lot of radio traffic, a lot of people get confused, call somebody and say, hey, you go here, you go there. It's direct. The number three reason why this is a great survival tool is books and entertainment. Not every disaster you go through is going to be a life or death situation for you personally. It could still be days, weeks, months before power gets restored, before utilities get restored, before life gets back to normal. You need entertainment in your life. Now, number 4 and number 5 are going to go together. Information before and after the event, and information for critical items you might need. So information before and after the event. Big storm's coming. Where is it going to impact? I can look it up on my phone. It takes 5 seconds to pull up the weather. You can also download informational guides on here. You can download informational YouTube videos. So things like the SAS Survival Guide, the U.S. Army Survival Guide, edible plants, poisonous plants, how to get out of a situation can all be downloaded onto here. Doesn't require cellular data after they're downloaded. And I can look up, if I'm lost in the woods, I can look up the SAS Survival Guide and go, okay, what are my next steps? Also very basic things like how to shut off your power, how to shut off the water, what to do when your pipes freeze. Should I crank a car and let it run in the garage? Probably not. But all of that can be downloaded onto a phone, a tablet, whatever, and can be saved for later information. Now the next one is communication. Speaking to your loved ones, speaking to your family, speaking to rescuers like I mentioned earlier. This is most people's primary means of communication. We got rid of landlines. We got rid of payphones. Most people don't have a ham radio. Most people don't have a CB radio. So this is most people's primary means of communication. In one of David's videos that he was on, he mentioned how he spent 10 days during a power outage because of the tornado. He was able to use his cell phone and call up the family members. Hey, what do you need? Can I come help you? Now, the next reason why this is an important survival tool is taking pictures. Take pictures of everything. Your wife, your kids, your weapons. A lot of parents, when they go to amusement parks, beaches, circuses, concerts, whatever, they'll take a picture of their kids that day when they get there. That way, when little Johnny goes missing, well, what was he wearing? You know, I'm not really sure. Instead, you have a picture on your phone. You can say, hey, he was wearing this hat, he was wearing these shoes. Same thing goes for disaster scenarios. People get split up. People get sent to different locations. Having pictures of what your kid was wearing, what your wife was wearing, where she was going. That way when they ask, well, what's your wife look like? Well, you know, I've been married to her for 20 years and I can't tell you a single thing about her. Instead, you can say, well, this is her right here. This is what she looks like. This is what she was wearing. This is the car. This is the car tag, the car VIN number. Same thing with your weapons. If you're in a zone that needs to be evacuated, you can only carry so many things with you in your car. Taking pictures of the serial numbers of your weapons, that way in case they get stolen and then try to get pawned off, you have that information on your phone. Your house starts leaking, your roof starts leaking, your house starts flooding. Detailing the damages is important. And the last reason why the cell phone is one of the most important survival tools is for barter and trade purposes. A lot of people will tell you that the cell phone is not important in any real disaster. But yet right now in Venezuela, people are still using their cell phones to meet up and do trade. People who cannot even afford a cell phone plan are still using their cell phones. How is that possible? There's still locations that have Wi-Fi. They go onto a certain app or a certain Facebook or whatever the case is, and they meet up with these people and they say, okay, I have this, what would you like to trade for? Venezuela has been going on for 10 years now in their current state of affairs, yet people who can't afford actual service plans on their phones are still using their phones as resources. So that was a couple reasons why the cell phone is one of the top prepping and survival tools. Why do so many people disregard a cell phone when it comes to a disaster scenario? You see, a lot of people think back to the basics. They think just because you lose power, you got to go back to the 1940s, the 1930s, the 1920s, where you're sitting around an old kerosene lantern living like the Amish. A lot of people don't understand that a cell phone is a tool. A lot of people don't understand that it is one of your greatest tools. Sure, you don't need a cell phone if you're out practicing bushcraft. You don't need a cell phone if you're on a deserted island. It's really not that beneficial. But in a Puerto Rico situation, yes, having a cell phone gives you entertainment. It gives you rescue. It gives you light. It gives you a way to communicate. Look at Texas last year. Their massive power grid failure. Many of those places were without power for up to 10 days. I know many people were still on Facebook bitching and complaining about it. So how is it that you have no power but you're still on Facebook? Because the cell phone signals are still operating. The cell phone towers are still working. Look at David's situation. He spent 10 days without power. He had a cell phone. He had to link it through a Wi-Fi signal, but he had a cell phone. He didn't just, oh, this is trash, and throw it out like most people claim that they would. No, he actually used it because it was still a beneficial tool. Now again, you're not going to go off into the woods and use a cell phone as a hammer, but you could use the cell phone to call your buddy, and your buddy can bring you the hammer. That makes sense. So to wrap up this video, this right here is one of the top prepping and survival tools. I think everyone should have some sort of phone nowadays. It's hard to live without them. It has so many critical things that you can do. It has so many critical things that you can learn, and it can be a vital asset during a disaster scenario. You can set yourself up for success because you have one of these things and you use it properly. Or you can be like most preppers out here and pretend like this thing is just a waste of space, and discount it and throw it away during disaster scenarios. Alright guys, that's all I got for today's video. If you think a cell phone is an important tool, put it down in the comment section. Again, that's all I got. See you two out.